This thing in the history of decimals. What's the little 2 words that pay for adding and subtracting decimals? You just line up the decimals. Okay. In other words, if you have, probably good to get all this on one piece of paper, that way you don't have to look very far. If you have 3.6 plus 9.85, okay, when you add or subtract, you just need to take it 3.6, line up the decimals, 9.85. You're always allowed to add decimals at the end of numbers there. And then when you add them up, where does the decimal go in the answer? Right there on that same line. Line of the decimals. 5, 14, 13.45. That's not it. Another little point that might throw some of you up. What about the number 8? 8 doesn't have a decimal. Oh no, what do I do, Phil? Where does the decimal always go? Yes. If it doesn't have a decimal, always put a decimal at the end. I still get people putting me in the front or wherever they feel like. It doesn't really, Put a decimal at the end of the number. Very good, very good. Now, when it comes to multiplying decimals, when you multiply decimals, what is the phrase that pays when you multiply decimals together? For example, if I have 3.5 times 0.6. Now please note, it's not going to be the same as adding and subtracting. Please don't line up the decimals when you multiply. I probably put this down as a bad example. It just happened that's where the decimals lined up. Okay, they don't have to. Here, let me change it, make the problem like this, and move this over here like this. Sam, you'll be okay, okay. You don't have to line up the decimals with multiplication. Okay. Sometimes they will, like when you multiply, but rarely do they all line up in your answer. What do you do when you multiply decimals together? Choose. Look how long it's been ago. There, Ashley?
You just multiply numbers like normal, and then you take however many decimal numbers there are before the decimal, and then you add the decimal.
Right. To summarize it, easy. I could that you want Ashley. You've never heard me say this, but that's exactly how I do say it when I talk about it. You multiply like normal. Multiply like normal, and then I am just going to say you count decimal places. Okay. In other words, for this problem here, it's going to be, you're going to get the same digits as if you multiply 350 times 6. You don't have to think about the decimals right off the bat, not till the end. 6 times 0, 6 times 5 is 30, 18 plus 3 is 21. Okay. Those are the digits I'm going to get for my answer. I just need to figure out where the decimal goes in the midst of all those digits. And you just simply do this. You go, oh, okay, let's see. There are 2 digits to the right of the decimal there. There is 1 digit to the right of the decimal there. In my answer, there must be that many digits to the right of the decimal. There has to be 3 digits to the right of the decimal. So I start right here. It's a grand total of 3. Start at the right and count back 1, 2, 3 places. My decimal goes right there. My answer is 2.1. I don't need those zeros at the end. If they're there, it's fine. If not, it's fine. 2.1 is the answer. Okay. Another example. Let's do one more since I got some space down here. Let me give you this one. 0.02 squared. Okay, now people right off the bat will tell me the answer is 0.04 because 2 times 2 is 4, but that's not the answer. If you follow the simple rules we talk about, I need to multiply I need to multiply 0.02 times 0.02. 2 times 2 is 4, in fact. That's going to be the digit of my answer, but where does the decimal go? Got to follow that same rule there. I need to count decimal places. There are 2 digits to the right of the decimal there. There are 2 digits to the right of the decimal. In my answer, there has to be 4 digits to the right of the decimal. So I start at the end here and I count back 1, 2, 3, 4. For all those empty spots, I need to add zeros. So 2 hundredths times 2 hundredths is 4 10 thousandths. Thank you very much. Sam was going to say thousands. Remember, it's one big part. Tens, hundreds, thousandths, 10 thousandths. All right, let me give you one more to do here. How about you do this one? 13 times 0.08, which in fact would be trying to figure out what is 8% tax on $13. Do that for me. 13 times 0.008. 13 times 0.008. Mr. Morford's classes are always so fun. 13 times 0.08. Should have an answer, and that answer, Nicole Greer, is
1.04.
1.04. I don't know. Let's see. I don't know. It's 13 times 0.08. 8 times 13. 104. No digits to the right of the decimal there. 2 digits there, so 2 digits is my 1, 2 over 1.04. If you didn't get that, tell me why not, Charlie.
I didn't.
Well, if you don't know what you did, then I don't know what you did. I mean, if you have no idea why you're doing it, then I can't give you a way to fix what you don't know what you're not doing.
I had 0 for some reason to the 8. Like if I
To the front of it,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. You're still going to get, it doesn't change how many digits are to the outside of the decimal. There's still only 2 there. I don't know what that would change in anything. You could put a zillion zeros to the left of it. It's not going to change what you get when you multiply 8 times 13. You'll still get 104. How does that change where you move the decimal to? Kendall, what happened?
It's supposed to be 1.12, I think.
No.
Because you're supposed to have an 8 on the bottom.
No.
I don't have an 8 on the bottom.
Gosh. No. Like when you add it.
What's that?
Like when you add it.
Yeah.
What am I adding? Where's there an addition
Like
sign?
if you add to get that answer.
Kendall, the last part is yours. So you don't have to see it.
Oh, that's right.
What happened? Anybody else on that there? Which makes sense, because if you go into a restaurant and have a $13 bill, 8% tip, or a tax on that, or go to a store and buy something for $13, 8%, you're gonna pay about $1.04 in tax. Perfect. That was short and somewhat painful. Alright, now the last one we talk about is division. Division, really you have to think about 2 different problems when you do division, okay? One time when you have a decimal outside the fraction box, and the other time when you have it inside. For example, this. Let's say I'm just taking 3 into 6.42, and over here when I have 0.03 into 6.42. The number one thing in division, kind of the phrase that pays there, is to do what? Ava?
Well, for the second one, you move the decimal so that it's a whole number and
Okay.
it's used for-
Step 1 is to make sure there is no decimal on the left side by moving it over. Which, like Ava was saying, okay, I can't have a decimal here. I don't have to worry about it here because there is no decimal there. This one's fine the way it is. This one here, you need to take this decimal and move it 2 places to the right so it changes actually into 3. Okay, but the deal is this, whatever you do on the left, you have to also do under the fraction box, or the division box. So this whole problem changes into 3 into 642, because I moved the decimal way over here. And then once you have that done, what you need to do, somebody help me out, the words are to, no, we gotta do one thing first. Before you divide, here's the word, bring up the decimal. In other words, right where it's at here is going to be right where it is in your answer. Right where it is here is right where it's going to be in your answer. And then it's divide like usual. 3 goes into 6 twice. 3 goes into 4 once. 3 goes into 12 4 times. 2.14. In this case over here, it's going to be just 214 because it's the same digits, the decimal is just at the end. And here again, it's imperative that you're working in straight columns. If you get things crooked or you do something, then you're really going to have a world of hurt in the decimal end of things. Perfect. Here we go. So I want you to do these 4 problems for me right now. 3 minus 2.94, 7.5 plus 12.75. Then I want you to do 1.2 divided by 0.006. And I want you to do 0.4 times 0.12. And can I just caution you, ladies and gentlemen, if I had whatever, or however many people, please make sure you know which one goes under the division box and which one goes outside the division box. If you don't know that, write a note to yourself. Think of an easy problem, how we write an easy problem, which one goes where. For example, if I do 12 divided by 3, how do I write that out in a division box? Let's see if we can't get all of 4 of these right. I want you to, we're going to actually have you write down, circle your answer, and pass it to the person next to you, and we'll have them correct it. We'll see what kind of success percentage we have. Even Gabby Behrens, who just walked in, I believe will probably get all 4 of these right. I have that much confidence in her. Just that much confidence. The preview is giving me a little bit of doubt in her facial expressions. Follow the simple little steps that we so nicely laid out. Make sure you circle your answers. Don't let any switching of answers once. Mrs. Smiley, did we get anywhere on the any early morning things or no?
There were none.
Anybody not done? Hold on. Not until I say, sir. Give me another 20 seconds to finish up. These are not long, complicated problems. They are simple. It's something we should have had under our belts long ago. If you are at a table of two, just flip-flop with that person there. If you're a single by yourself, Elizabeth and Kendall switch, Grace and Morgan switch, Kyle and Taylor switch, and everybody's happy. Anybody missing today?
What's her name?
Emma.
Should be two people. Who?
Emma.
Who check is gone, and
Band people. Band people. Andrew.
There's that.
okay, for this first one, again, it's just as simple as this. By the way, it's subtraction. It has to be done in this order. 3 point, and you can add as many zeros as you like. I'm going to add 0 so that it ends up being 2.94. You line up the decimals. In your answer, that decimal is going to go there as well. Borrowing, because I need to get over here, this is a 2, this is a 10, I borrow from that 10, it becomes a 9. This stays a 10, 6, 0, 0. The answer is simply 0.06 or just 0.06. Raise your hand if you're a person got that right. Now, if they did not, what answer did we get, Kendall?
They got 1.06.
Yes. Annalise, what did your person get? 0.86.
I put down 2.14.
How about that? Anybody else, Alex?
Put down 29.1.
Now, do we know why is the question here? What we did wrong here? Okay, again, first number in subtraction has to always go on top. You can't flip those things down. Problem number 2. 7.5 plus 12.75. Again, lining up the decimals. Feel free to add as many at the end as you like. Decimal is going to go here in your answer. You still line up the decimals. 5, 2, 12 plus 9, 9 plus 1 is 10. Boom. 20.25. Raise your hand if your person got that one right. Wonderful. Problem number 3. And again, please be careful when you do these, because with decimals, it used to be obvious. When you were in 4th grade and 3rd grade, you always took the smaller number into the bigger number. That's not the case with decimals. It can happen. This one, they flip places. This one actually goes outside, and this goes inside. If you're a person that continues to miss that, please put something on the front of your notebook so that you can see. 12 divided by 3, how do I write that? 12 divided by 3. They flip places when you do this here. You should have moved the decimal over 3 places, which means you should have moved this 3 places, which means you actually have to add some zeros to get it over there. And then it's just like 6 into 1200, which ends up being 2. You can bring the 0 up there if you like. Bring down a 0. Fill in the blanks till you get to the decimal. It is 200. Raise your hand if your person got that one right.
I'm smart.
And the last one. 0.4 times 0.12. Oh, please tell me that your person did line up the decimals. Okay, it doesn't matter where the decimals are at. You just multiply like normal. As a matter of fact, on this one, I'd probably put the 12 on top because I usually put the bigger one on top just to make it easier. 48 is going to be in my answer. I just need to figure out where the decimal is. It is 1, 2, 3 places back. 1, 2, 3 places back. 0.048 should be the answer to that. Handle.